My name is Tania. I'm Spanish and a scuba instructor in Spain.
So my name is Anja Kuschel. So people around scuba diving and diving know me as AK Scuba from Instagram.
Hello, my name is Katerina. I'm from Malta.
My name is Anastasia Schmuck. I live in Switzerland.
My name is Ellie and I got into scuba diving about 10 years ago.
Mi nombre es Gonzalo Pérez Mata y bueno, soy español.
Dzień dobry, nazywam się Arkadiusz Srebrnik.
Hi, my name is Emanuele Giacchetta. Merhaba.
The bitter history of Çanakkale is not just found in the tales of its lands and battles, but also hidden in the sunken wrecks within its deep and chilly waters. Furthermore, these shipwrecks, forbidden for diving for many years, were opened up for exploration in 2022 by the Çanakkale Gallipoli Wars Historic Area Directorate. Now the Directorate's current mission is to introduce these wrecks to the world. From various countries around the world, 10 divers, each an expert in their own field, will dive into the shipwrecks of Gallipoli for 4 days, bringing to light the hidden treasures that lie beneath through their photographs. The Gallipoli Wars Underwater National Park holds the distinction of being the first underwater national park themed around World War I.
So my name is Anja Kuschel. So the people around scuba diving and diving know me as AK Scuba from Instagram. I'm working in the diving industry since 15 years. I was a diving instructor, doing social media, I have a podcast in Germany about scuba diving, and I'm here to check out all the reefs and the wrecks of the Gallipoli War.
The team promptly begins their diving preparations. Over the 4 days that the divers are in Çanakkale, the weather intermittently shows signs of storm. Because of this, they must stick to the plan. They need to complete their preparation swiftly and reach the wreck of the barge they plan to dive on the first day. Otherwise, even a slight delay in their schedule could result in them getting caught in a storm, potentially rendering the day's dives impossible. Accompanying the team for these 4 days is not only a security crew, but also a documentary team tasked with capturing the divers and the shipwrecks on film. Safety is one of the primary concerns of this operation. Above all else, the paramount matter is ensuring that every diver returns home without encountering any accidents. Reza Khan is responsible for the safety of all dives and divers underwater. Muratan Yildiz is at the helm, directing the above and underwater filming operations.
My name is Anastasia Schmuck. I live in Switzerland and I traveled career or all these years of diving. I came to underwater photography and especially I fell in love with wreck photography, shipwrecks, with their history, learning about them, and of the most interest, of course, historical wrecks. Have been invited to dive here to tell the story of Gallipoli underwater and surface museum about the wrecks of the First World War, about the story behind it and how all of this happened here.
Without delay, they move to reach the diving zone. The shipwreck chosen for the first dive is just 20 minutes away from the harbour. Captain Ur has been sailing through these waters for more than a quarter of a century. Yet, being the captain for this particular dive still thrills him. The comfort of his passengers is his top priority. Only a captain as experienced as him can contend with the tempestuous waters of Gallipoli. Both the diving team and the filming crew are conducting the final checks on the underwater cameras. Cameras used underwater are specifically designed to withstand the pressures of the deep. With a limited time available for each dive, everyone has brought their best equipment to capture the most vivid imagery. For an underwater videographer, one of the worst situations imaginable is for their camera to leak. For this reason, they use special watertight containers known as housings. For Ali, member of the diving team known on Instagram as Scuba Ali, this dive holds a different significance. She has been familiar with the Gallipoli naval battles ever since her elementary school history lessons.
My name is Ellie and I got into scuba diving about 10 years ago. I instantly fell in love with scuba diving because it was something that removed me from the everyday life that we all experience. We were then offered the amazing opportunity to come out to Gallipoli and dive on these incredible historic wrecks, and how could I say no? From the moment I jumped into the water here, I just couldn't believe the amount of history that actually gave me goosebumps while I was diving. You hear about the history of the wrecks and you understand what actually went on during that time and how our ancestors were lost in this period as well. And it actually reflects a very special place in my heart too. I actually remember at school learning about some of these wrecks and when they went down and what they were here for. So it was incredible to actually dive on them and feel like you're closer to the history of this part in Gallipoli.
The inaugural dive is to a vessel known as the barge, used for transporting soldiers from sea to land. These barges played a crucial role during the Gallipoli landings, ferrying soldiers, supplies, materials for constructing piers, and even livestock like horses and mules for use on the landing grounds. Often referred to as barge, these vessels had flat bottoms, broad hulls, and could operate either with or without engines. It is believed that these barge met their fate on the morning of April 25, 1915, during the Sudul Bahir landings. Lying at a depth of approximately 24 meters, this sunken relic instantly captivates the dive team from around the world. As one navigates through the wreck, it's nearly impossible not to ponder the emotions, fears, exhilarations and dreams of the people who once stood on this small boat. Now enveloped in profound silence, this shipwreck, like others from the Gallipoli naval campaign, has transformed from a place of death to a haven for marine life. Nature seems to be gently veiling the painful memories of the past. As the team gradually ascends to the surface, there's already a palpable anticipation for the tales of the next wrecks. Every dive here holds significance. Every plunge is meaningful, and each descent serves as a homage to the lives once lost in these waters. The first day of diving concludes successfully, bringing a measure of relief to the boat staff and the security team. The dive crew, already being highly experienced, faced no issues. They make their way back to the Çanakkale Kabatepe harbour. For everyone, the divers, the security team, the filming crew and the boat personnel, the first day served as a day of acclimatization. As the evening of the first day unfolds, the diving and filming teams convene. They review the outcomes of the day. Plans for the next 3 days will be drafted based on the footage from day one. Anya, who also is an underwater photo model, meticulously discusses each shot with the filming team. They exchange expectations to ensure even better results for tomorrow. Even though the footage so far seems satisfactory, tomorrow promises a more challenging day. After a long journey, followed by a day of diving, everyone is in dire need of a good night's sleep. Today, dives are planned for 2 separate shipwrecks, Lundy and HMS Louis. After the experience of the first day, the divers are even more eager for these new underwater relics. Following approximately an hour of sailing, they will arrive at the dive site where the wrecks are located. The dives proceed at an unwavering pace. Today's first dive site is the Lundy wreck. Constructed in Beverley, England in 1908, the Lundy ship was originally a fishing vessel owned by the Hull Steam Fishing and Ice Company prior to the war. Despite its civilian use before the Gallipoli campaign, the outbreak of war saw the vessel commandeered for minesweeping duties in Çanakkale. On the 16th of August 1915, while loading ammunition, it collided with a ship named Kalyan, which was attempting to evade Turkish artillery fire. The collision led to the Lundy sinking. Located at a depth of 27 meters, the ship largely retains its structural integrity, aside from the damage at its stern, which caused it to sink. The second dive is to the HMS Louis, which rests at a comparatively shallower depth. Positioned at 13 meters deep, the reduced depth of this dive as the second one of the day gives the team enough time to capture the imagery of the wreck. On October 30, 1915, after colliding with a tugboat and sustaining damage, the ship drifted and ran aground. During rescue operations, it broke apart and became inoperable. These salvage efforts took place exclusively at night, and to ensure that the ship's damaged state remained inconspicuous, it was painted to blend in with the surrounding rocky terrain. This was done in hopes that the Turkish side would not target this destroyer. While the ship measures 82 meters in length, only 45 meters of it protrudes above the sand, with the remaining part buried beneath. one of the best photographers in the team is coming from Spain.
Mi nombre es Gonzalo Pérez Mata y bueno, soy español, soy fotoperiodista, trabajo en España en un periódico y también realizo fotografía submarina. Y hace poco me contactaron desde el Ministerio de Cultura a través de Instagram, supongo que porque conocerían mi perfil de fotógrafo y especializado en fotografía submarina, y bueno, me invitaron a conocer el parque histórico de barcos hundidos de Gallipoli. Ya bueno, aquí estoy, muy interesado en el buceo en barcos hundidos y disfrutando del viaje. Yo como fotógrafo subacuático estoy muy interesado en el buceo en pecios. En España suelo bucear bastante en barcos hundidos y en algunos otros países, pero para mí es uno de los puntos del buceo y de la fotografía submarina que más me interesan por la historia, por el ambiente y por el tipo de perfil, ¿no?, de buceo. Así que bueno, creo que el parque de Gallipoli es un sitio muy interesante, muy desconocido para gente de fuera de Turquía. De hecho, he hablado con compañeros, con fotógrafos y con más buceadores y no conocían el sitio. Y bueno, yo lo estoy descubriendo y creo que es un sitio con muchas posibilidades para el resto de buceadores, de fotógrafos y de gente interesada en la historia sumergida, tanto de Gallipoli como la historia sumergida en general, ¿no?, de todos los países.
Gonzalo and the rest of the team will dedicate both of today's dives to the majestic wreck. With its length of 118 meters, the Majestic is a wreck too vast to be fully explored in just a single dive. However, the storm that the team has been avoiding for days now catches up with them. The emergency boat accompanying the diving vessel has taken all necessary safety precautions. So the team gets into the water, diving into one of the biggest wrecks here, the Majestic. The Majestic battleship was constructed at the Portsmouth dockyards. Its initial assignment was as the flagship of the Channel Fleet, safeguarding England's southern coasts. As the operation for the Dardanelles was being planned, Churchill argued that the ship was aging. Nevertheless, with the confidence that Anzac forces would easily traverse the Dardanelles and swiftly capture Istanbul, they incorporated the Majestic into the naval fleet and dispatched it to the outskirts of the Dardanelles on February 1st, 1915. During the Gallipoli naval campaign, HMS Majestic was assigned to support other naval vessels. On May 26, 1915, as the flagship of the Navy at the Dardanelles, it bore the flag of Rear Admiral Nicholl. On the morning of May 27, 1915, around 06:30, it was torpedoed and sunk by the German submarine U-21. Captain Thomas Lawrie Shelford, in an attempt to avoid the same fate as the Triumph, which had been sunk by U-21 2 days earlier, anchored as close to the shore as possible and encircled the ship with torpedo nets. However, after a month-long journey filled with uncertainties, it couldn't escape becoming the target of U-21. The submarine, bearing the distinction of being the first in wartime history to sink an enemy ship with a torpedo, managed to sink 2 warships during its short time in the Dardanelles. The HMS Majestic now rests at a depth of 18 to 23 meters, largely maintaining its original structure.
Dzień dobry, nazywam się Arkadiusz Srebrnik, jestem nurkiem i fotografem i zostałem zaproszony do parku podwodnego w Gallipoli, żeby zanurkować na wrakach. Jest bardzo, bardzo ciekawe miejsce. Mieliśmy okazję zanurkować na kilku wrakach z wojny, z I wojny światowej, które zostały zatopione w realnych warunkach wojennych. To na pewno bardzo ciekawe wraki z ogromną historią. Dodatkowo ta historia jest też przedstawiana w muzeach i jest chroniona. Rozgłos o tej wojnie, żeby nie został zapomniany.
Today was the most challenging day. It was the majestic wreck. In the beginning we had a strong surface current. On the bottom we had almost no current, but then one of a sudden it came again. And during the dive the current direction changed like 3 to 4 times at least. And when we were going up it was again like on 10 meters current, and on 6 meters no current, and on surface current, and then no current, and you're like, okay, this is how it is, you just have to deal with it. Alone the story of the Majestic, when you listen to it and then you see all these boats standing and waiting how it will sink, it is like, wow. When you go down you see, okay, this is how it probably happened. And then you see all these pieces, leftovers. I mean, we found a spoon, we found a fork. I'm not sure we made a picture of it because it was a little bit like on the bottom in the sand. We didn't want to touch it to make it clear, but like, you know, the small details, you don't see them on the artificial wrecks. And for those especially who are interested in the history, this is an amazing diving.
The beautiest moment was definitely Majestics. We go down, we had a lot of current, but we go down and then the fogginess goes away. It was a little bit colder downstairs, but then visibility, it was amazing. I never saw visibility on a wreck in the Mediterranean Sea like this. It was so good, but you descend and then it was like foggy and you go down and down, then it was like an opening, like a movie begins. It was amazing, I liked it.
I cannot say that diving here would require some super special technical experience. Recreational divers will feel comfortable, absolutely. They just need a little bit more experience than just shallow waters, because it is still a short line. It is still sometimes not the perfect visibility because of the currents and the winds. I actually get questions permanently already since the first day. First question is, can one dive there? Like, can one dive there? Please tell me, can I dive there? Do I need to be a technical diver to go there? I always say, no, you don't need to be a technical diver.
We are diving on the Majestic, which is a really big, massive shipwreck, 120 meters length. Really nice and interesting, a lot of bombs over there, and really, really historical and very nice to see. I really recommend it to visit any divers to see it. It's really nice.
At the conclusion of their dives, the team takes a brief meal break. While everyone is notably exhausted from the day, the experiences gained and the photographs captured make it all worthwhile. Thanks to both of today's dives being at the same location, they conclude early. This leaves the team with some time for a brief museum visit. It's a splendid opportunity to witness Gallipoli's ancient history, which is not limited to just World War I, but also extends back to the times of antiquity and mythological figures. Faces are bright with smiles, as tomorrow marks the final day of dives. Their target is the Captain Franco wreck, lying at a depth of 44 meters. It's the last day of the expedition for the team. Like all previous days, all preparations are done with a high level of concentration. While the Captain Franco wreck isn't actually a relic from the Gallipoli campaign, it stands as a beautiful spot in this region, opened up for technical diving tourism. The video team gives the last instructions for the last dive, as there is no other chance. The Captain Franco wreck, lying at a depth of 44 meters, necessitates the discipline of technical diving. The fact that the team includes technical divers makes this dive distinct. Compared to the Gallipoli naval campaign wrecks, Captain Franco hosts purple corals and boasts a higher variety of marine life. Its considerable size and its intact position on the seabed amplify the excitement of the dive. At this depth, daylight significantly diminishes, casting a profound darkness. Therefore, an underwater flashlight becomes indispensable for such a dive. Additionally, to capture imagery underwater, the team requires artificial light sources like underwater flashes and video lights, critical equipment for their mission. Even though time seems to fly underwater, the divers must now return to the surface. Yet, the sardines around Captain Franco seem almost reluctant to let them go. After the last dive of the 4-day expedition, the divers face a decompression stop of over an hour. Yet, given that it's the final dive, no one seems to mind. It's as if everyone is bidding farewell, not just to each other, but also to the deep waters of Gallipoli and the history that lies beneath.
...21 dalış noktasıyla ve hikayesini bildiğimiz birçok batıkla sadece suyun altına dalmadığımız, aynı zamanda tarihi bir yolculuk yaptığımız yer Gelibolu Sualtı Parkı. Gelibolu, Çanakkale bütün dalış meraklılarını, dalgıçları ağırlamaya, misafir etmeye hazır. Biz onları bekliyoruz.
We have been invited to witness the fantastic dive sites that this location has to offer. I think that it's great to be able to witness firsthand all this place has to offer, such as the numerous shipwrecks on the underwater, dating back to First World War, 1915, 1916. And it's always great to be able to, you know, as a diver, to dive and revisit this shipwreck, and at the same time to enjoy all the surroundings, the fantastic nature, the historical sites, and to be able to enjoy the food and everything that this fantastic region and country has to offer.
Of course, I will recommend to people to come to visit this area. I think if you love wreck diving, is your perfect destination. Weather is amazing too. Water is so clear and so clean. It's a lot of wrecks. Then each day is a different plan. Very easily to reach, and everybody here is very welcome. Then I feel like at home.
I am definitely overwhelmed about all the friendships, about the friendly persons here around us. They helped us and go diving with us. I really like the food of Turkey, and what I really like is how you created this whole topic. Like, you have a museum, you have the paper around the history of the wrecks, so everyone can learn about this and can take something to home to show this around. I really like how this is created, so I really like it.
The wrecks itself have a variety of different depths, temperatures, currents, so it's really nice to be able to come out here not only as a recreational diver, but also as a technical diver. Maybe photography interests you, or maybe you're a newer diver that wants to kind of explore and get exploring into wrecks. But either way, it's absolutely phenomenal how you have such a variety and selection to choose from for all abilities, with lots of different skill sets involved.